Good morning here. This is Blake Pennington here with
Hunter Gotro.
And this is Sports Talk East News talking about the Super Bowl.
It was supposed to be a well-matched game, and I figured that the Broncos would come out and play a better game than they did. The Seahawks come out and played a good game. They did what they were supposed to do, did their job, and Manning's offense didn't have too hot of a game. Neither did the defense. So, this is my opinion.
They were asking if all the new recent rules that the NFL came up with all protect the offense. But then the question was, is the defense still ruling over the offense? Well, that question was answered during the Super Bowl game. The defense did rule the offense when it allegedly scored over 40 points, and then the offense only scored 8.
Yeah. The Legion of Boom, number one defense in the NFL, and Peyton Manning's offense, number one offense in the NFL, come in the Super Bowl, and Manning's offense had a busted play on the first play of the game for a safety. That's not really a great way to start Super Bowl, but in those conditions, you have a hard time hearing, and he was calling an audible.
Knowing the Seattle Seahawks fan-created earthquakes in their home. Yeah. It gets pretty crazy in there. And Peyton Manning walks up and it snaps over his head, which was the fastest scoring in Super Bowl history.
Yeah, it was just a kind of like a botch snap. He was calling an audible. The center was surprised, and blew it all up.
While the first quarter unraveled, the Broncos without a score, the Seahawks kept scoring. They couldn't do anything about it. The Seahawks defense throughout the game had many picks and stopped Peyton Manning.
Yeah. Peyton Manning threw 2 interceptions. He had a good game. He went 34 for 46, had a good game. It's just his offensive line. They were getting dominated by the stronger Seahawks defense. And, Manning's O-line has done good through all the year, but when it comes down to, the big game, they just didn't really come out and do their job. Manning had a good game other than that, just the 2 picks. They weren't really his fault. One of them, it was a bad pass.
One of them was over his head, and the other one was just a deflected
yeah.
on his arm.
And that wasn't his fault. And then,
for the Broncos fans, halftime was something to look forward to, with Bruno Mars coming out with our special guest, the Hot Chili Peppers. And then for Super Bowl 48, the Broncos fans, that was something that they should forget.
Yeah, it was kind of a rough game because the Broncos were going to halftime and they were kind of stunned.
With 0.
Yeah, 0 points. And Seahawks had 22. They were just really stunned, had no clue what was going on. And they went in trying to fix all the problems, and they come out at half. And the first kickoff, they gave up an 87-yard kickoff return to Percy Harvin. Percy Harvin's first game back, good player. Really, he's the fastest guy on the fastest guy on that field last night. He had a great game.
Him and Trendon Holiday.
Yeah, him and Trendon Holiday. Percy Harvin had a good game. He was just cutting the Broncos defense apart. He did his job. And when he had his touches, he was seeing the field well. He was just making cuts that were causing the defense to miss tackles. What else could he have done? He did his job. And he came through with the Seahawks win. So.
And the Broncos, after they came back, the Broncos had down over 20 points, and then they asked the coach what's ready, and the Broncos coach said they needed to start stacking up more. So Broncos with Peyton Manning had led them earlier that season with more than a 20-point comeback victory.
Yeah, Percy Harvin comes out, and the Broncos are kind of stunned. And they were coming out expecting to make a big stop, have some major improvements, and then Percy Harvin comes out and just tears them up. He cuts the kickoff team in half, and he scores on the 87-yard kickoff return. And
after it bounces.
Yeah, after it bounces. And the Broncos, they're just real lackadaisical, and they finally got down there, and Percy Harvin, he just got the ball, and he just cut through him. He's really explosive. just blazed right past them like nothing. Without
having very many snaps that season, Percy Harvin comes out and stomps through.
Yeah, He played in 2 games that whole season. Then he's supposed to play in the AFC Championship game.
Yes, Broncos had an average defense, and they were worrying about containing Russell Wilson. Well, they did an excellent job against that.
Yeah, he had those plays where he broke away and got a 30-yard carry. He had 2 of those. But they couldn't. They pushed him out the pocket and stuff. Made him make good throws, but he was making those throws very consistently and doing good with his throws. They were trying to keep him going to his left because he had a hard throw thrown across the body, and when he's going to his right, he made his throws a lot easier. And
he's a young quarterback.
Yeah,
he'll get through that though.
He just made his throws a lot better going to the right than he did to the left. That's for every quarterback that's a righty.
Yes, but in the end, the Seahawks scored over 40 points, and leaving the Broncos with only 8.
Yeah.
And the hopeful victory of Super Bowl 49, maybe a little bit better. Signing off, I'm Blake Pennington here with
Intro.